Hello students, once again I welcome you all to my online class. Students, this video is for class 8th. As you all know that we have already completed 3 chapters from your main course book, that is Wind Chime. Today we will start a fresh new lesson of your literature main course book, that is The Word in a Wall, chapter 4, written by Gerald. Students, Gerald was basically a naturalist, and if you will search him on Google, you will find that most of his works were related to animals or wildlife. So we have one more story here, The Word in a Wall, which is very interesting and a very funny kind of story that we will read up now. So students, I request you all to please take out your note copy and pen so you can note down the important points, and also you can note down the main word meanings. So let's start today's video. The Word in a Wall by Durrell. Students, before we come to the story, let us know something about the writer of the story, Durrell. Durrell, popularly known as Zeri, was a naturalist, author, conservationist, and television presenter. He founded the Durrell Wildlife Conservation Trust and Durrell Wildlife, which was earlier known as Jersey Zoological Park, on the Channel Island of Jersey in 1958. He is best remembered for writing a number of books based on his life as an animal collector and enthusiast. His first book, The Overloaded Ark, was published in 1953. He eventually wrote 33 books, including the best-selling The Bifford Bagels, A Zoo in My Luggage, and The Stationary Ark. So students, what is the most important thing which we should know about Durrell was that he was very interested in animals' life, or you can say he was too much interested in wildlife. Most of his works also have some other things related to animals or wildlife. Let us come to the story. One day, I found a fat female scorpion in the wall, wearing what at first glance appeared to be a pale fawn fur coat. Closer inspection proved that this strange garment was made up of mass of tiny babies clinging to the mother's back. I was enraptured by this family, and I made my mind to smuggle them into the house and up to my bedroom so that I might keep them and watch them grow up. So students, as you can see, I have highlighted few words in this story. That is the word meaning, that is the vocabulary that you have to compulsorily write in your copies. Okay, and after that I also have written few meanings in the bracket, so it will be quite easy for you to read it and to make your notes. So let's start our story. One day I found a female scorpion in the wall, wearing what at first glance appeared to be a pale fawn fur coat. Closer inspection proved that this strange garment was made up of mass of tiny babies clinging to the mother's back. I was enraptured by this family, and I made my mind to smuggle them into the house and up to my bedroom so that I might keep them and watch them grow up. Here, Durrell is talking about an incident of his life that he had with scorpion. One day, he was roaming around in his garden, and he found a fat female scorpion in the wall. When he firstly looked at that scorpion looked like a grayish brown colored fur coat. Okay, glance means quick look, pale, light colored, dull color. Fawn means grayish brown color. So that scorpion was looking like a grayish brown fur coat. But when he looked at that scorpion with a closer inspection, then he got to know that it was not actually fur coat, but it was a weird, a strange garment. It was a kind of garment which was made by the tiny babies of that scorpion. Actually, on the back of that scorpion, little and tiny babies were clinging to the scorpion. It was not a cloth, it was not a garment, but it was actually her tiny babies which were clinging to her mother's back. I was enraptured by this family. So, when he looked at that scorpion, that family, he was very delighted. He was very joyous when he saw that family, because already he was very, he was very interested in the wildlife. He had such keen interest in this. So when he looked at that family, he was very delighted, and he made his mind, he decided that he will take them secretly to his house. He will smuggle them. Smuggle means to take something secretly. Okay, so he decided to smuggle them to his own house and his bedroom. Why he smuggled those scorpion? What was the reason why he did that? Because he wanted to see the scorpions growing up. He wanted to actually explore it. He wanted to actually see how scorpions grow. So he decided that he would take the scorpions with him to his home and his bedroom, and he would take them with him, and he would see them. He would watch them growing up. With infinite care, I maneuvered the mother and family into a matchbox and then hurried to villa. So with so much care, with infinite care, means he had to care too much for those tiny babies. Okay, he maneuvered means to tactics for doing something. When soldiers go for any battle or something, they made tactics before going somewhere. So that is known as maneuver. He made maneuver, and he with so much care and with so much ease, he took the babies and he took the scorpion, and he kept all the scorpion into a match box, and then he went to his villa. Villa is basically a luxurious place to live. Villa can also be used at the place of home, simply home, but it should be a quite luxurious home. So he went back to his home. It was rather unfortunate that just as I entered the door, lunch should be served. Means it was quite his unfortunately, which is not, by destiny, which is not good for you. Unfortunately, what happened? As he entered into the room, the lunch was already being served. So he did not get any time. He did not get any chance to go to his bedroom. As soon as he entered into the room, the mother asked to take him to the lunch. However, I placed the matchbox carefully on the mantelpiece in a drawing room. Mantelpiece is basically a shelf which is above a fireplace. In most of the Hollywood movies, we see that there is a must thing in all the homes. What is that? That is a fireplace, or you can say bonfire. So above that place there is a shelf, and that shelf is known as a mantelpiece. You can place the things there. So since he did not get any chance to go to his room, he placed the matchbox carefully on the mantelpiece in the drawing room, so that the scorpion should get plenty of air, and made my way to the dining room and joined the family for the meal. So he put the matchbox on the mantelpiece, and then he left for the dining room, and he joined his family for the lunch. Dawdling over my food, feeding Roger surreptitiously under the table and listening to the family arguing, I completely forgot about my exciting new capture. Okay, so he went on the dining table, he was having his dinner, he was feeding his dog Roger, and he was quite wasting his time. Okay, and in all these things, in the family argument and everything, in the feeding Roger, somehow he forgot about his scorpions, somehow he forgot about the new exciting thing. At last, Larry, having finished, pick up the matchbox he had brought. Obviously, of my impending doom, I watched him interestedly as, still taking glibly, he opened the matchbox. At last, what happened? At last, his brother Larry, he finished his lunch and he went there. He went to the mental piece and he took that matchbox. Oblivious of my impending doom, I watched him interestedly as, still taking glibly, he opened the matchbox. Now, what happened? He himself did not know that what doom was approaching to him. He just watched everything. He also knew that he had kept those scorpions in the matchbox, but for few seconds he forgot everything and he was just sitting there and watching everything. He saw that his brother was taking the matchbox, and as he opened the matchbox, what was that? It was a surprise. It was a shock for Larry. Now I maintain to this day that this female scorpion meant no harm. Okay, so that day he realized that female scorpion is never a danger for you. She was agitated and a trifle annoyed at being shut up in the matchbox for so long. That female scorpion was nowhere harmful for them. That female scorpion was not a danger for them. She was only a little bit troubled emotionally, and that female scorpion was a little bit annoyed also because she was being shut up in a matchbox for quite long time. So she seized the first opportunity to escape. As soon as she got the opportunity, as soon as the matchbox was open, she took that opportunity, she grabbed that opportunity and she escaped from that matchbox. She hoisted herself out of the box with great rapidity, her babies clinging on desperately, and scuttled on the back of Larry's hand. Now what happened? As soon as the matchbox was open, that female scorpion moved very hurriedly. She moved in a very hurry manner, and all her babies were also, they started walking up on the hand of Larry's hand. They are not quite certain what to do next. She paused, her sting curved up at the ready. Larry, feeling the movement of her claws. Claws is here claws means the foot of scorpion. Glanced down to see what it was, and from that moment things got increasingly confused. Now what happened? As Larry opened the matchbox, the female scorpions, they were in the matchbox for quite a long time. So as soon as they got the opportunity to escape from that matchbox, they took that opportunity and they moved from that matchbox and they started to walk on the hand of Larry. When Larry felt that something was moving on his hand, he looked down to figure out what was happening. And when he saw those scorpions, from that moment things really got confusing. Okay students, so this was it for today. We will do it in 2 and 3 short videos because the story is quite long. So this was it for today, and what you have to do in your homework is you have to write down few things about the writer of this story, Gerald, and you have to write the short summary of the story, whatever we have done till now, okay, that you have to write down in your own words. So we will meet up again in the next video. Till then, take care, stay safe.